No lengthy intro, you are here because you want to know just one thing. Is Assassin's Creed Shadows good or not? Now, I did not play the entire game, so this is of course subject to change, but based on the 4 hours that I have played myself, yes. And if you'd like more detailed explanation as to why, well, let's get into it. I know for a fact I am not the only person who is tired of Ubisoft and have grown a little stale with the Assassin's Creed franchise. Not like I hate it or anything, on the contrary, I'm actually quite a fan. I think there are far more good Assassin's Creed games than bad ones by a pretty long shot. And the idea of an Assassin's Creed game in feudal Japan just seemed like a recipe for success. And I am very glad Ubisoft seems to be somewhat learning for once in their life. Kind of like how they got rid of the early access for the deluxe editions, taking additional time with delays for more polish. I actually feel like that showed up in this preview build I played, which feels great to say. Now let's jump into the few aspects I really liked, like the combat. I feel as if in a game based in Japan with samurais, you have to nail the combat. And I was really worried this would not look or feel right. But going blow for blow in this game felt as good as it looked. You play as your two protagonists, of course. We have Yasuke, which is an absolute menace and a freaking tank. He has a larger health, deals a crap ton more damage, and you can also switch between two different weapons. You have multiple equipment items, different skills to use, like breaking people's backs, and a very heavy emphasis on parrying, which felt great. If you're a fan of like Sekiro or games like that, I think this is going to feel right at home for you. You can also charge your light and heavy attacks to do a bit more damage. Again, combat is super fluid and very solid. And as for Naue, she's a little bit more nimble and takes a lot more damage and doesn't quite dish it out as hard. Man, is her sword play fun. I loved the two weapons I got to use. Her special abilities were all super fun. It's just a blast watching her do all sorts of flips mid-fight with her fast dodge. It's great. I love when scenes go black and white for a second on executions and different assassinations. Now, when it comes to the stealth gameplay, this is great too. Now, does this look and feel like a normal Assassin's Creed game? Of course, you hide in the bushes, you get different vantage points, a whistle for people to check this grass, only for you to murder them, but it feels very polished, which is a very nice thing to say for a Ubisoft game. And even adding new quality of life changes, like finally being able to go prone in the grass. It is a simple but a huge game changer. I remember in The Last of Us 2 when this was added, it felt like a whole new layer of gameplay was added, and I feel the same exact way here. I feel like this is as quality as it gets for combat in an Assassin's Creed game. I am all here for it. Now, when it comes to the parkour, again, this one only really applies to Naue. I felt like this is some of the best I have seen in a while. Now, we all know Unity has the best parkour. That is just absolutely no debate. This game feels really good to play. I love the grappling hook to ascend and descend. The simple flips while I'm descending just make it look and feel so cool. I feel like they did a wonderful job with the parkour animations just to really give some, extra sauce, and I loved it. Again, I have to preface, this is still going to have that feel of an Assassin's Creed game. The core has not changed, especially when you're just, doing normal climbing. But I feel like this is a really good and polished version. But if you have never liked the Assassin's Creed franchise whatsoever, I'm not really sure this will be enough to win you over. But if you have been someone who has liked the franchise, but maybe hasn't loved a lot of the newer and more recent ones, I think you are really going to have a good time with this one. Now, when it comes to the story, honestly, it is really hard to judge. My build started out giving me some backstory on both Yasuke and Naue. I found Naue's to be slightly more interesting, but then I'm fast forwarded to a lot later in the game where they're both already friends. I'm kind of thrown into a mission. I don't really know why or how we got there. I did a few more missions, but again, it was a little hard to grasp any sort of concept or scope of the story because we were just thrown around a lot. Again, this kind of happens in these preview builds, but I am looking forward to the rest because I did find a lot of aspects of this really intriguing. Now, in performance, I don't really have much to say. I was on a remote session and it was a little less than stellar. And this is absolutely no fault of the game's. I did have a few friends that played an in-person build and they had nothing but praise to say. But the remote session was definitely a little choppy and I'm not even sure it was 1080p at certain times. But again, this is no fault of the game's itself. I just thought I would mention it. And after completing the missions, I had around 45 minutes of playtime to kind of free roam for a bit. The world seemed beautiful. I loved the locations. There were a lot of activities to do per usual in a Ubisoft game. I got to try a few more costumes, weapons to play around with, with, and even some of the skill trees. I honestly don't really have too many negatives other than one section where I was completely jumped by a bunch of like assassins. I really felt this difficulty spike was insane, unless I'm just, really bad. There was a minor NPC bug, but again, nothing remotely game breaking. This is very, very minor stuff. This has definitely changed my hype levels for this game from maybe wanting to pick it up on a sale to a definite day one for me. I'm very happy to see the extra time that was put into this, and I think it is going to completely pay off. Also, I'm very sorry it seems if I am rushing this because I am. I played this on January 22nd from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. and the embargo is the next morning, the 23rd, at noon. So I did not even get my B-roll footage until later that night. So a huge thanks to Ubisoft for letting me check out the game early. I am very eager to receive the full game and jump into it. So let me know in the comments, are you more excited now? Are you less? Are you picking up Assassin's Creed Shadows on day one? Let me know what you think. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.